Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anna of Reinforcement Club. Today, we are going to talk about the thing called tough love, caring with discipline. Now, tough love refers to a parenting style, or it could be leadership style. You could even apply this to friendship or to oneself, to yourself. It is a combination of firmness, strictness, with support and care. So, this means that you are enforcing rules and boundaries to teach responsibility and discipline. At the same time, ensuring the individual, the other party, that you ensure to them that they are loved and supported by you while enforcing firmness. So, this can be used in the context of raising children, managing relationships, or even in some therapeutic settings. Or to yourself. Self discipline is also a tough love, and that will help you grow into a better person. Now, the characteristics of tough love, you know, the number one of that is that it has clear boundaries. You enforce and establish rules and expectations in the relationship. Just like parenting is also a leadership, though. Parenting and leadership in the work area, in your friendship, in your colleagues, to yourself. Leadership starts within you, within yourself, leading yourself. So you set rules and expectations to yourself first. You apply it. You apply the rules and expectations to yourself, and it another. You can even do this smartly by setting low expectations to others, because other people could disappoint you. You couldn't say that. You couldn't say to them that follow this and that, but you're not doing it. You set the expectations first and rules as well to yourself. You do it first. Be a good example and expect less to others, because eventually, if you're doing the right thing and they can see that you're in the right direction, eventually they're going to follow you. Don't enforce to other people what you want. Be a good example. Another thing about tough love is that it is consistent. Consistent, applying the rules and consequences without exception, without favoritism. Because if other people sees that, they would they could even resent you. They wouldn't even believe you if there is an existing favoritism. And tough love, what's good about tough love is that it teaches accountability. Like for our parents, we whenever we've done a mistake, they give out to us constructively in a way that we could realize our mistake and take responsibility, face the consequences of our actions, to the point that whenever we feel that the consequences is really hard, it toughens us. And it will even lead us to the point that we will never do the same mistake ever again, because our parents have already told us about it, and we've experienced the terrible consequence, and we don't want to feel the pain again, unless if we haven't learned the lesson. Another thing about tough love, it provides support and care, emotional support, and expressing love, even while enforcing rules. So, respecting each other, not only in parent-child relationship, it could be in friendship, it could be in the workplace, even though you're not the manager in your workplace, but you are your own leader. You are the CEO of yourself. You are the leader of yourself. If you know how to lead yourself, eventually you're gonna know and learn along the way how to lead others by just merely being a good example. Another thing about tough love, it is goal oriented. Just like our parents and some of our managers, it teaches us long term lessons about responsibility, self control, and dealing with the consequences of our mistakes. You know, I've experienced this before a couple of times in friendship and with my dad. We are different people. Like for my dad, with my dad, there are some decisions that he made that I, I, I don't approve, and I also have decisions that I made that he doesn't want me to do. Although there might be with my dad, I am such a stubborn up to this moment. Sometimes even though he said no, I still do it because I want to learn the lesson. And whenever I find out that it's just, my dad is right, so I won't do it again. And I'm going to open it up to him and reassuring him that I won't do it again because that was he told me, his advice. And as to me, you know, I've only have one life, and there are some things that I want to do. There are some things that I want to know how is my tolerance, even though it is wrong. It could be wrong, but sometimes when you work on something, especially in goals, though, you're never gonna know if you don't take risk. I do listen to my friends. They want what's good for me. I do understand that. But there are some things wherein I must know myself. And even though I know I love them, I still do it. And then come back to them about my review lessons. So, in friendship, you can. I love tough love in friendship as I'm growing older. Because there are some friends though that they're just going to please you. They're going to feed your ego. They're just going to tell you what you want to hear because they want something. They want your company. They want what they can get out from you. They want the benefits from you. Those are fake friends. But those friends who's going to apply tough love on you, these friends know that they are going to compromise the relationship, your friendship, because of tough love. But you know what? What's the good thing about this is that when they execute tough love on you, because, for example, you've done a mistake and you did it again, and the other friend couldn't tolerate that. That friend couldn't afford you being fooled around by other a-hole. So they could give out on you, and that could compromise your relationship for the sake of, for you to learn the lesson. And those are good friends. Those are the right friends. Those kind of friends are worth keeping because they want to see you growing. Not just those silly people who's going to be feeding your ego, who's just going to tell you what you want to hear. And if you hang out with this effing people, you're not going to improve. How in the world can you ever improve? Hanging out with those people who just wanted to say what you want to hear, who are just reinforcing what you have, doesn't give you any effing lesson at all. So be careful with those relationships that you're keeping. If you are pro growth, keep those people who wants the best for you. And when you are pro growth, expect also that there will only be few people, even one or two people, who's going to be rooting for you, rooting for real, even when you're not in the room. These are true friends. When you are real, when you are growing, you're only going to be hanging out with few people in your life. But those people will fight for you. That's true. And, tough love enforces respect, treating individuals with respect, ensuring that all the parties involved in the relationship, you know, or dignity is being maintained throughout the relationship. And in the most part, with tough love, there is a good communication. You can openly discuss the reasons behind the rules and consequence to foster understanding. You can even speak out your feelings freely without being punished, without being hated. You can express your feelings freely, but still express receiving. You could still receive love, not rejection, not punishment. Open communication, which means that both parties can grow. Now, tough love could be used for you or against you. Now, having to be able to identify if the tough love has good intentions, the first thing that you have to know is you got to find if you really got to find what's the purpose behind this rules and regulations, these boundaries. And you can only find out through your instinct, your hunch. You have to find the purpose of your relationship, of the discipline, of, is this kind of friendship, or what do you call that? It could be parenthood. Is the purpose of this, implications of this rules and regulations, accountability, would help me grow, would help this relationship grow. So, which means helping individuals to grow, learn, and develop better habits or behaviors. We got to find the purpose of your relationship, the purpose of that tough love. And tough love, also with good intentions, has empathy. So, whatever you do, could be good or bad, the other person empathizes you. Your parents can do that. Some of your managers can able to do that. They can empathize you. They can stand with you, whatever happens. Your parents can give out to you privately, but they are on your side publicly. Understanding of the individual's feelings and needs. That you know that you're already, you've messed up, you're accountable for it, you know what you've done, and your parents or your friend or your manager, the leader, could empathize you for that. And when you've done something good, there is a positive reinforcement. So there is an encouragement of good behaviors in the relationship. And fairness too. Ensuring that consequences are fair, reasonable, and related to the behavior in question. So like for example, in your siblings, there is no favoritism, and if you're the eldest or the youngest, if you've done something wrong, you're really going to get something from mom and dad. All right? Or in the workplace, if you are the favorite employee, so if you've done something, you're really going to get something. Not because you are the favorite employee, you're going to get the attention, but you'll be called. Now, the downside, the bad, well, not really the downside though. This tough love can also have bad intentions, to the point that some people can apply or conduct tough love in your relationships, in any relationship, in order to gain control. Manipulative relationship, using rules and consequences to exert power or control over an individual. And tough love, bad tough love. This also, this kind of tough love with bad intention emphasizes punishment rather than teaching and guiding an individual. So most of the time it's just rewards or punishment. Well, rewards evenly, fairly. You could give rewards, but if you've done something wrong, you're done. Punishment. Punish. And, you know, tough love could be mistakenly applied through neglect, failing to provide emotional support and care. That if you've done something wrong, you've been neglected all the way throughout the months and years of 2024. I mean, does it mean that you can't make it right again? You can't change yourself? That you deserve that kind of like neglect? And bad love. Taylor Swift, sorry about that. Tough love with bad intentions also incorporates inconsistency, applying rules unevenly, which means that there is favoritism, applying rules arbitrarily. And lastly, tough love with bad intentions manifest resentment or anger from the leader, from your parents. Actions driven by a leader's own negative emotions rather than the individual's best interests. Well, as much as possible, we want to avoid this. But I personally think that all the people in the world have dark side, have terrible past to say. Even though not all those terrible pasts, terrible upbringing are made equal, but when you ask every person, they always have something to say. They always have something to consider terrible in their childhood that made them feel not good enough, insecure. So instead of going after the individual's best interests, since you're not in a good form, you're not in the mood, you're just giving out to your people, to your kids, because you cannot control your own emotions. So it's important to lead yourself first. And if you can discipline yourself, then might as well. Might as well that one day, by the time that you become a leader in a company, in your workplace, or a parent, you can able to teach people or your kids about, how to be responsible, to be accountable, to be, to be goal oriented, to never give up. There's a lot of things you can learn. You can teach to other people when you know how to lead yourself. Do you know how to identify this tough love? Tough love in action. The number one thing that you need to look out for is that there is a balanced approach. An individual is disciplined, but also supported and cared for. And again, we can feel that from our parents. So I'd say parents because this is common, relatable. I know not all parents deserve to be parents, but okay, you could also experience this balanced approach from your caregivers, from the people who's looking after you. And there is also a consistency in rules and consequences. Rules are applied fairly and consistently. And the best part of tough love in action, there is a clear and open communication. The reasons for rules and consequences are clearly explained. That is why when you've done something wrong, which we cannot avoid all throughout our life, we can able to learn as fast as we can because of tough love from the healthy relationship around us. Tough love also focuses on growth. It aims to teach you and promote personal growth along the way as you grow older, as well as emotional support. And tough love follow through. Just as long as you are around with these people, with your parents, with your real friends, with you're under the leadership of this person who is a good leader and applying tough love to his or her people, This kind of relationship follows through, as stated, enforcing the learning process as long as you are under their leadership, under your parents' leadership, or you are still having this kind of relationship with your friends. This follows through. This will be all the way, all the time. This is what you are going to expect because we do anticipate consistency in the first place. And of course, along with those, you know, consistency, as long as you are in that kind of relationship, you will be respected. Both parties, your dignity and self esteem are respected. Now, once again, tough love is an approach which teaches a person about responsibility and self discipline. Its effectiveness depends on the balance between setting clear boundaries and providing emotional care. Tough love with good intentions focus on individuals' growth and well-being, as well as empathy and consistency in the application of rules. Recognizing tough love involves observing a balanced approach where discipline is paired with genuine care and support. So when you correctly apply this tough love to yourself, first, if you're getting this from your parents, from your friends, from your manager, this kind of relationship can be a powerful tool for you and for the rest of the people for fostering personal development and healthy behavior. This will help you grow to become a better version of you, not the shitty version of you. That's why it's important to pick the right people to surround with. So, if you ever love this episode today, you can share it to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts. I'm also in an Amazon Podcast because just one download, I can be in any podcast platform. So yeah, it's just when I download this episode on Spotify, that's just how it goes. I just get myself registered to others podcast platform, but in the most part, the common one, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. So this is Anne of Reinforcement Club, by the way, and I do appreciate your time. Let us help each other around the world grow ourselves and live life to the fullest. I do appreciate your time and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you very much.